Good day, everyone, and welcome to Weather with J7409. The name you know, the news you can use. Today, of course, Monday, the 30th of July, 2018. Starting off this morning, we're going to check out the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean. I know lots of you have questions and have been wondering about what's been going on. So let me give you a little update. I'm going to turn the map on now. Of course, we have the Gulf here. Here's the Atlantic, and this is what's coming off the coast of Africa through the Trough and up through the Caribbean Sea. So we'll turn her on and let her roll. Now, as of today in the Gulf, okay, of Mexico, we do have a weak surface ridge. It extends across a basin, okay? Variable winds will prevail over most of the Gulf waters. Scattered moderate convection is over the northern Gulf. Now, a surface trough is over the Florida Peninsula. Okay, and it's got scattered to moderate convection within around 90 nautical miles of the trough. In addition to that, scattered, moderate to isolated strong convection is over the Yucatan Peninsula. That's due to a surface trough. Expect convection to increase over the eastern Gulf through midweek. Now, what that means is just expect thunderstorms to intensify, okay? We're not talking there's going to be a tropical storm or a hurricane. And you can see as it moves through how these storms are intensifying. As we move to the Caribbean Sea, shallow moisture prevails across the northwestern basin, and two tropical waves are moving across the Caribbean. Now, a divergent environmental loft is supporting widely scattered moderate convection over western Cuba and adjacent waters north of 20 North. Now, the southwest Caribbean, the EPAC's monsoon trough supports scattered moderate convection over Costa Rica and Panama and waters that are just south of there. Elsewhere, we have scattered moderate to isolated strong convection is inland over Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. And fresh to strong winds are forecast to pulse every night over the south central basin through midweek. Now, when we come to the big old Atlantic Ocean, we got two tropical waves here. Two are moving across a basin, okay? The fluid flow between the base of an upper level trough over the southeast continues to support widely scattered moderate convection over the western Atlantic to include the Bahamas. You can see how the rain is still over the Bahamas here. It's going to be there for a while, just like over the eastern United States right now. Now, what's happening with this widely scattered moderate convection over the West Atlantic? It does include the Bahamas, or part of the Bahamas, and the Atlantic subtropical ridge dominates the remainder of the basin, being anchored by a big old hive, which you can see right here spinning around. This is like 1,030 millibars. It's a huge high. Now, surface region is going to dominate the central and eastern Atlantic through this coming up weekend, providing stable, dry conditions so far as the air and the wind go. It's going to be okay. Nothing should develop. If this is your first time over to Weather News with J7409, please subscribe, click the bell, click the email notifications, do everything you can to make sure that you get the latest in weather news, forecasts, watches, warnings, and tropical weather. I put it out there for you every day, and I keep up with it as best as I can to try to keep everyone informed and safe. I appreciate it a lot if you would subscribe. And for everyone who is subscribed, if you're having trouble receiving my notifications, please just go up and Google hashtag, all lower caps, all together, no spaces, weather J7409, and it should take you right to my videos with the latest one there. Okay, we're looking at the GFS map now, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. So let's just turn her on and let her roll and check out the weather today. Of course, we got this unsettled weather, and it's returning to the eastern United States today, and the heat is continuing to make the headlines for the western states. Showers and thunderstorms will be numerous from Texas to the East Coast early this week, with a pronounced upper level trough becoming established over the Midwest and the Ohio Valley region. The response to this is in the low levels, with deep moisture surging northward over the eastern U.S. through Wednesday. Yes, I had bad storms yesterday. All over the U.S., storms, tornadoes, everything was popping up. If you had a chance to tune into the Weather News Live with J7409 yesterday, all of my people there, as well as me, heard the alerts going off. We saw what was happening. Well, it's not going to let up today. Probably it's going to be around tomorrow, the way it looks. It's going to be Wednesday before the East Coast anyway, gets any relief, okay? Now, it's going to be warm and quite humid, with daily chances of all this rain I'm talking about from the Gulf Coast all the way up into the New England area. And episodes of heavy rain are expected to materialize in this type of weather pattern, okay? And don't forget, flooding is possible. Flash flooding is possible. If you live in a low-lying area, poor drainage area, any of that, some of this rain, it just comes down in buckets, folks. So if you happen to run into an area of the road that is flooded, please don't go through it, okay? Now, this risk of flooding, it covers parts of the Deep South and also parts of the mid-Atlantic region. Now, we've got a persistent upper-level ridging across the western United States. It's going to lead mainly to dry conditions for the Pacific Northwest and much of the Intermountain West. Temperatures are expected to be above normal for much of this region. And yes, the heat advisories and excessive heat warnings are in effect across parts of Oregon, Washington State, and Idaho. We've got poor air quality alerts, and they're going to be an issue for some of these areas, especially anyone that is near any of the active wildfires going on across the U.S. Elsewhere across the United States, monsoonal moisture is expected to remain across much of Arizona and New Mexico, with scattered thunderstorms developing mainly during the afternoon and evening hours. Pleasant temperatures for this time of the year are expected across much of the central and northern plains, extending eastward to the Great Lakes. Now we're looking at the NAM model, which of course is the weather for the next 3 days. That should actually happen. This morning already, this was right now set for 7 a.m., but earlier this morning, between 5 and 6, we did have some severe thunderstorms out in the Oklahoma area. Looks like some more are going to be popping up. And we also had some marine warnings out around South Carolina that could possibly make some waterspouts occur. So we'll move it up some to around 10 a.m. this morning, see what it's looking like. You can see all this rain up and down the coast. A lot of it trying to move out, but we've got it all the way up into the Washington, D.C. area, also parts of Illinois, moving towards Indiana, down in Oklahoma. Some of these are probably going to turn severe also. So if you're in Oklahoma in that area, be aware. 5 p.m. this afternoon, as we move across, we can see they start to break up. These heavier rain cells start to break up, but they're everywhere. So I call this splash and dash showers. You may get a heavy rain shower, you may get a sprinkle, you may get nothing. It all depends on where you're at and where these are. But they're going to occur all the way from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, parts of Nebraska, Iowa. You can see them all, Pennsylvania, parts of New York, parts of Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, pretty much the entire mid-Atlantic. Let's move on now to around 9 p.m. this evening. As we're moving along, they just are still moving easterly and will go up to 1 a.m. in the morning. Rain, rain, still some more rain. This rain should not clear up. Let's move ahead to Wednesday around 1 a.m. We do have now this severe cell right here, more than likely was just down in Ohio, okay? But it's trying to break up more and more. And we do have a great big high over here. It's going to push it on up. So we'll go to around 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. You can see this stuff is starting to move out, but there's still that chance of splash and dash showers. And as I was talking earlier about down in the Gulf, you can see how these storms are beginning to gather more convection, as I just told you, but they should not turn into a tropical storm or a hurricane at this point. But they still will have lots of rain, winds, if you happen to be anywhere along the coast of the panhandle of Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Any of these storms pop up, they could be severe and they could produce high winds, hail, maybe even water spouts or a tornado. And that's going to wrap it up for Weather News with J7409 this Monday, the 30th of July, 2018. Thank you so much for joining me. I just love you guys so much, and I love it when we all get together. We have such great talks. You guys, I got the best subs in the whole wide world. And I really appreciate you, and I love you, and thank you for everything you do for me. May everyone have a great day, a safe day, a blessed day. And remember, keep your eyes on the sky and everything around you. Much peace, love, and kindness to each of you.